What's up? What's up? What's up? I just want to share some information. This is my first time going live on YouTube. I'm definitely excited to talk about a couple of things. My name is Freddie Johnson. You can find me on Instagram as Freddie's Blades. Also on Iron Cuts Barber Den. I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia, 2329 Cheshire Bridge Road inside of Iron Cuts Barber Den, which is in Phoenix Salon Suites in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Buckhead area. And you know, there's a lot that is going on right now in the world, and I believe that there is a solution. You know, there are some that talk about that right now we are currently in a recession, and I'm just letting you know, and I'm here to encourage you not to allow it to rattle your feathers, not to allow it to surprise you, not to allow it to take you off of your focus, not to allow it to rob you of your dream. This is not a bad time for you. This is not something that is a bad decision as far as you putting yourself out there to pursue your dream, to pursue your goals. There are ways to be able to make it through times like this. I've been cutting hair for 33 years now, since I was 13 years old. I'm now 46, and I've survived, by the grace of God, several recessions. As a matter of fact, a couple of years after I was born, we hit our first one, and then, because I was born in 76, so around 78 there was one, and then also there was another 2008, and then we recently just survived a pandemic, and you know, we have this one that they say that we are in right now. But one thing I'm going to share with you is that don't allow yourself to get scared. Don't allow yourself to slow down or to be afraid. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in worry. Right now, I'm standing right in front of the barbershop. It's 10 p.m. As you can see, I'm representing 24-hour Barber Boys. I got introduced to this concept working in a 24-hour barbershop right here in the Buckhead area. I have been given an opportunity by Miss Carol. I was working at Anytime Cuts, and it just opened my eyes to a whole different level of hustle. It opened my eyes to a whole different level of grind. And there's some who actually don't even really know too much about the concept of a 24-hour barbershop. And I'm gonna take a second to share it with you, because these are some of the things that could possibly even help you with what you might be trying to think through right now, or what you might be trying to figure out right now. One of the things I learned from multimillionaires some years ago is that the best ability is availability. And when I first had my experience at the 24-hour barbershop, I was surprised. Like, it really knocked my socks off, because of the fact that I was able to see a whole different side of this game. I was able to see a whole different side of this city. There were people literally coming in the barbershop to get a cut, you know, during the regular daytime hours, you know, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., you know, 5 p.m., and so on and so forth. But there was still a flow that was coming in after 9 p.m., after 10 p.m., after 1 a.m., after 3 a.m., you know, and I've kind of learned the rhythm. I've kind of learned the flow of working, you know, on a whole nother level, working on a whole nother tier. And I was introduced to the concept at Anytime Cuts, but I was taught how to survive as a 24-hour barber boy from our boy Twin. He's originally from Philly, and he's you know, in Atlanta right now. He's cutting in this area as well, and also another barber by the name of Chuck. And there were tips that they have taught me to be able to survive that type of grind. I mean, I was literally grabbing my clothes. I would grab clothes for the whole week, and I would bring them to the barbershop. And what I would do is I would work all day and stay, you know, throughout the course of the night, still work throughout the course of the night. One of the things that they taught me is, you know, sometimes when it's slow or whatever and you're not super busy at that time, and take that time to take a little cat nap or whatever the case may be. So, that's something that I would make sure that I would do. And sometimes, I'll be so exhausted, the shop will still be kind of loud, and I'll still be able to go ahead and get my cat nap because I knew what my goals were. I knew what I was set out to accomplish. I knew what I had in my mind to do, and so I had to make sure that I was available at the set hours that I wanted to be available, because I knew at those hours were the hours that I was going to make the most money. And so, I would take that advice, go ahead, take those cat naps, work throughout the course of the night, and in the morning, what I would do is I would, grab my duffel bag, go to the gym, shower, change, and after I worked out, of course, and then go ahead and go back to the barbershop and do it all over again. And then not go home until Saturday evening. Saturday evening, go home, spend time with the fam, go ahead and, enjoy the night, church Sunday morning, go out to eat with the fam, things of that nature, pack clothes for another week and go and do the same thing over again. And then grind. I was able to pick up so much clientele around the clock. It really put me in a position where I was able to cherry pick. It put me in a position where I was able to choose the clients that best suit my business standards, best suit my schedule, because you have some people that have a tendency not to come on time and things of that nature, and what it would do is it would mess up my schedule for the day, because for the most part I was working by appointment, and then I took walk-ins when I could. And so during that period of time, I was able to build up a clientele that was so strong that I was able to go ahead and open my own shop. So after that, I was blessed with an opportunity to open Iron Cuts Barbering. And so in doing that, I was able to get myself established on paper, and it placed me in a position where I could market the shop, where I can go ahead and start hiring barbers, where I can go ahead and start, establishing my business on paper, the LLC, got the EIN and all that good stuff, started building my personal credit, started building some business credit, and was able to get some funding to where I was able to do renovations. I was able to, bless barbers during the time when, things got kind of rough. I was able to place myself in a position to win and place others in position to win as well. And some of you may ask, well, what does that have to do with a recession? First and foremost, the main thing that's necessary for us to keep in mind is the fact that you want to work it when you don't need it, first and foremost. You want to work it when you don't need it. So it's because it's always better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes time to where there's any dip in business or things of that nature, you've established yourself so strong that you're able to handle a dip. So when times are good, you got surplus coming in, you're saving, you're putting stuff to the side, you're being wise about the moves that you're making during that period of time. So if there is a dip, then you'll be able to have some acorns set up, put up to the side, so you'll be able to go ahead and to keep your business afloat. Now, there's some situations to which we kind of get hit and we're not really prepared for that dip. We're not really prepared for that valley or that downtime. So the best thing to do during that period of time is to work on yourself. Make sure you're placing yourself in a position where you're educating yourself. Make sure you place yourself in a position to win as much as possible. You're reading books, you're associating with people with a positive mindset, with a business mindset, with a go-getter mindset. And what's going to happen is it's going to keep you from dipping emotionally. It's going to keep you from dipping mentally. It's going to keep you from burning out during a time where things are negatively, emotionally charged. So you'll be able to win during a time when everybody else might be closing their doors, when everybody else might be walking away or turning away from their business or turning away from, what might even be for them their labor of love. So if you're working on yourself, you'll place yourself in a position to where if that dip comes about again, you'll be prepared for it, because it's not about what you have that makes you a winner. It's about who you become. So if you're going through a period where business is slow, I would say probably 7 times out of 10, it's because of the fact that you've lacked in the preparation to be able to keep your business afloat during those times. And there may be something about you that you might need to change for the better. But here's the good news. For one, it's okay. It's all right, because guess what? This is a journey where we're constantly learning, where we're constantly growing, where we're constantly, going to higher levels as we go along. So you have to learn first and foremost how to forgive yourself, and to know that it's all right, to know that everything is going to work out. Here's what I've learned from Multimillionaire years ago. One thing I've learned from him. His name is Dave Severin. And one of the things that he said is, there are no such thing as emergencies. There are no such thing as emergencies. There's no emergencies, just opportunities for solutions. So if we stay solution-minded, if we stay calm, and we don't panic, we will be able to objectively think through what is going on. We'll be able to see what we need to change in order to be able to win in the way in which we might be able to win during that specific season. If we don't panic, we might be open and have the right mind and have the right attitude to connect with those people who can help us to get those solutions. We can connect with those people who can help us to find a way out of that hole, to find a way out of that rut, to find a way out of that tough situation, so that we can be able to see ourselves with a victory, to see ourselves with a W, to see ourselves on the other side of the struggle. You understand what I'm saying? So another thing that's important for us to understand is we have to be very careful what we are reading, and we have to be very careful who we are associated with. There's millionaires that say all the time, you show me your 5 closest friends and the books you are reading, I'll show you where you'll be in the next 5 years. And so there are some people in our lives where we may have to make a decision to love them from a distance. There are some people in our lives that may be toxic to this season in our life, that may be toxic to this specific season in our growth and development. And what's necessary for us to do is to sometimes make the tough decision to separate ourselves, to make the tough decision to allow some distance to come between us and those type of individuals. Not so much that we don't love them, not so much that we don't care about them, not so much that we won't want them to win or anything like that, but because of the fact that you want to do everything within your power to protect your dream. You want to do everything within your power to protect your goal, everything within your power to protect that which is precious to you, your purpose in life, so that you can be able to not only place yourself in a position where you can help yourself, but you'll also be able to place yourself in a position where you can help others. So we want to stay cool, we want to be calm, we want to watch our association, we want to work on ourselves, we want to read. There's opportunities during what they would call a recession or a slow time in business where we can even take courses. There might be things that you might need to learn, on how to develop a more solid business plan, or to sharpen your skills in marketing, or even in people skills, or you might be able to see that you may need some assistance in learning, who to hire and when to hire, and also when to let certain types of people go and at what time, because that's another thing you would have to learn too as a business owner, because there are some people who are going to cost you money in a couple of ways. One way, they're going to cost you money because of the mistakes that are making, whether it's bad customer service, whether it's, they might be wasteful, on the job or at your business, or they also might be that particular type of individual that people don't want to be around. They kind of throw mud in the atmosphere. they don't help you to create the type of environment that is conducive to your business. So that's another thing that we may need to work on. Find out what it is that you want to improve in or need to improve in your life. And if you can't figure it out for yourself, it's always good to have some type of mentor, some type of guidance, some type of system that you may be able to submit to that is higher than yours to bring you to another level. Because what's going to take you from being a small business, if you create a small business, you might have been thinking about building a business, you might have just started your business, or you might find your business growing, but you feel yourself kind of stagnated. The thing that's going to take you to the next level is learning how to trust someone. Because as a small business owner, you are the system. So if you walk away from your business, right, and come back in a year, that business is going to be gone. But if you learn to trust someone and start to operate like a CEO, put people that have certain gifts and talents in place that your business needs, and create a system for them to operate in, you can have that system rolling, walk away from your business, and come back a year, maybe even 2 years later, and your business has grown. See, as a small business owner, a lot of times we have the mindset is, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. So if you're thinking on that level, if it's gonna be, it's up to me, and you're not trusting anybody to help you to take the reins or to take this bull by the horns or to think through this rodeo, then you might be placing yourself in position to fail, especially if your business is growing fast. If your business is growing fast, you're going to have to place yourself in a position where you're finding help, because you're going to be out of balance. And being out of balance for too long could possibly burn you out to where you're not even thinking properly as far as how to run your business right. And it's going to shrink to the level in which you're pretty much thinking at that point. It's going to shrink to wherever your self-esteem or wherever your self-image is at that point. So it's very important that we work on ourselves so that we can constantly sharpen our vision of ourselves and sharpen our vision to what we have dominion over, our specific assignment, the thing that we are working on that specific time. It could be a business, it could even be, a high position on the job, even for now. But whatever it is that you have in your hands, it's important that you take that seriously, and it's important that you take yourself seriously. There is a scripture that I like to read, Psalms 23, and there was a specific part of that scripture that's been heavy on my mind, and that is the yea though, or the even though. And that specific part of the scripture states, yea though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. And a couple of things that I thought about is that, one, we have to have a yea though type of mentality, or even though type of mentality. You understand what I'm saying? Even though, they may be saying that we're in a recession right now, I'm not going to fear any evil. I'm not going to allow myself to submit to the chatter that's coming across, that's trying to drag me down, or that's trying to scare me, or that's trying to make me run away from my dream, run away from this very valuable thing that I have in my hands right now. Even though, they're saying that there are this disease going around and that disease going around, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to make sure that I rest in the security, that I rest in the protection and in the promises of my God, of my Lord and Savior, so that I will be able to walk with confidence every single day I do what I do. And I'm going to use the common sense that he gives me. I'm going to use the training that I've been able to subject myself to at one point in time to teach me how to properly be able to avoid contact with certain type of diseases, so that I can be able to walk strong, so that I can be able to be healthy and properly serve the people that I'm predestined to connect to in my life. I mean, I've been working with people for a long period of time, and there are certain things that you can tell, just being around certain types of individuals. And that's why it's very important that you pay attention to the people that come around you. You pay attention, to your customers, to your clients, to your friends, to strangers that you're meeting for the first time. You pay attention, and it's going to help you to know how you should govern yourself, how you should guide yourself, how you should act, how you should walk, how you should be, how you should talk, being around specific types of individuals. And there's different personality types. You got people that come from different backgrounds. You have different demographics that we're dealing with all of the time. And it's very important that we make sure that every time, especially when we're on our job or in our place of business, every time we come in contact with folks, that we are professional. And there are professional ways of handling things. Like, you definitely have to wash your hands. You definitely have to wear gloves. You definitely have to make sure, especially if you're dealing with something that's airborne, you're not talking all in somebody's face or allowing somebody to be talking all up in your face. And there's a right and a wrong way to handle that type of situation, to deal with everybody. So it's important to pay attention and to understand and learn different types of people. There's a very important personality book that you can read, and that's Why You Act the Way You Do. And it was birthed out of one called Personality Plus, where it's dealing with different personality types that we come across with. There are main personality types, and then a lot of us might have, a combination. You have one personality type that might be kind of dominant, and another personality type that is kind of recessive. And it's important to know different personality types, and it's important to know, proper ways of dealing with people and handling people, so that we can be able to, in every way, not just in physical health, to keep ourselves safe and to keep the people around us safe as well. And if we really get good at doing this, then even during times of, let's say, certain scares, if it comes to finances or if it comes to health or things of that nature, people will trust the environment that you are running. There are certain businesses, I'm sure, you said to yourself during the pandemic, oh, I'm definitely not going there, because they don't even really keep their place clean when it's not a pandemic. So I know if there is a pandemic or anything crazy going on in society, that I definitely have a feeling that there's a high chance that things won't go well for me there. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, there are other places where they're very professional, they're very clean all the time. And man, if I go there, yes, I'm gonna take the proper precautions, but if I go there, I feel a lot safer than if I go anywhere else, And so if you're conducting a business to where you're developing a relationship with people, and you're developing a rapport with people, and that you are also exuding a standard of excellence, then when things get rough, guess what? They're still gonna come and support your business. When things get a little tight, they're still gonna come and support your business. Why? Because you developed a relationship. And you develop, like I said, a rapport with that individual. And there's a lot of us that may not know, but there's a lot of us that do know that business is relationships. If you want to develop a successful business, it's very important to develop relationships with people. And if we really get good at doing that, then you're going to find yourself being successful in so many areas. And that's another reason why it's important to learn different personality types. It's important to learn, different backgrounds. I was talking to a gentleman last night, and I was sharing with him that there are other languages that I even want to learn. And there are things that I've been exposing myself to lately, even culturally, so that I would be able to relate to more people. And if you're doing that as a business owner and you're showing interest in others, more interest than you're showing in yourself, people are going to fall in love with you. And they are going to love to support your business. And your business is going to be recession proof. And another way to build a recession proof business is to focus on your business. Focus on your business. Build it strong. Most millionaires put at least 50 hours, like while they're in their grind mode, and some even still put at least 50 hours into their business. So your business might right now be a side hustle. So if you want that business to grow fast and to grow strong quickly, you're going to be burning the midnight oil. You're not going to be getting a lot of rest. Your life is not going to be in a lot of balance. There are going to be a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. There are sacrifices that have to be made in order for your business to grow strong. Because guess what? A baby is not going to grow unless you feed it. A baby is not going to grow unless you care for it, cater to it. You're spending time with it. You're nurturing that baby. And your business, until it grows big and burly, is a baby and is not going to survive without you. So that baby is going to need your time. That baby is going to need your attention. That baby is going to need to be fed, nurtured, so that baby can grow. And it's not going to happen by osmosis. It's not going to happen by itself. You're going to have to put time into it. And then what's going to happen is, I was listening to David Shands on the morning meetup, and he was talking about streams. And he was basically saying that if you are a business owner, one of the worst things you could try to do is to develop 5 streams at a time from inception. And he gave us a few examples, and to me, it made perfect sense. He was saying that what we need to do is we need to build one stream very strong. You may have multiple talents, but the best way to do, if you want to build business and you want to build it strong and you want to build it to the point where you have financial freedom, is to focus on one of those talents and allow other streams to come out of that main stream. Because once people see that you are successful in one thing, they're going to be more prone to want to do business with you if you have any other ventures that are coming up behind that one. And so, he did use a couple of examples, and one of them being P. Diddy. He was talking about how P. Diddy's mainstream was entertainment, and out of entertainment came his Sean John brand, and also the Ciroc is another stream that came out of that stream. And he was just talking about different things. And I believe it was definitely a powerful teaching to help us, because there's so many of us who are scratching our heads trying to figure out how to make it. And I think the best thing for us to do is to pay attention to those that have, and pay attention to the advice they're giving before things get bad. And if we pay attention to the advice that they're giving before things get bad, when things get quote unquote bad, or when things get tough, we'll be in a good position because we paid attention to wisdom. They say the best way to go through a minefield is second. And there are many multimillionaires that I've been listening to on the Social Proof podcast, that I've also been listening to on Earn Your Leisure. And, these men and women have definitely been dedicated to building their business and building it right, and they don't mind sharing the mistakes that they've made, but they have a track record of success, and they share things that they've done right and they share things that they've done wrong. And sometimes the best way to learn is from other people's mistakes. And if you can learn from other people's mistakes, then you can definitely go far. And that's another reason why it's important to read books, because a lot of these authors and the books that we read, you know, they share a lot of things that they've done right, a lot of things that they've done wrong. They share the horror side of their stories also, so that you can be able to see, man, I'm not alone with what I'm going through. I'm not alone with what I'm experiencing right now. I'm not alone in this struggle, that there's others that have struggled as well. Because if you pay attention to any success story, no success story is pretty. All success stories are ugly. All of them are ugly. If we're, you know, man, if we're thinking about Oprah's story or Tyler Perry's story, or we go back and listen to Run DMC and the things that they've gone through, or we talking about Jay-Z's story, or even Beyonce's, you know what I'm saying, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Nas. We can use so many examples, you know, Jackie Joyner Kersey. You know, we can just go through a whole laundry list of successful people that have had rough beginnings, but they stuck with it. They went through it. And that's the message for today. Go through it. Go through it. If you go through it, you'll get to it. You'll get to what? You'll get to your goal. You'll get to your vision. You'll get to that light at the end of the tunnel. Because what you're going to do is, even if you're making mistakes in the process, you're going to learn from the mistakes. And you're going to be able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get back and do it again. And do it right this time. Because if you're determined, you have your heart set, like you really have your heart set on what you're looking to accomplish. If you are committed to your dream, and if you are relentless, refuse to give up, then you are going to be successful. If you're determined, if you're committed, if you're relentless, you are going to be successful. You're going to be successful. And one last thing I'm going to leave you with. Enjoy yourself in the process. Learn to enjoy the journey. Learn to fall in love with the journey. Learn to have fun. Learn to laugh. Learn to stay lighthearted, light-spirited in the journey. Learn from another millionaire that when people are happy, they're productive. And when they're productive, they're happy. If you can manage to stay happy, if you can manage to hold on to your joy, to hold on to your passion that you have for this dream, this passion that you have for this business, this passion that you have for success, during times when things are scary, during times when things hurt, during times when things look like it's not going to work out, you are going to be successful. Because everyone you meet, you're going to greet them with the right energy, with the right spirit, with the right mind. I've learned recently that energy is emotion in motion. So you're going to be hitting them in a very sweet spot, right? So they're going to want to do business with you. They're going to want to find out who you are. They're going to want to find out what makes you tick. Because guess what? They're going through the same period that you're going through. A lot of them are dealing with the same things that you're dealing with. So they're going to ask, how come this individual is still able to be so elated during this period of time? How come they're able to be so happy when things are going so crazy in this world? How come they're still able to be so focused when things are so chaotic right now? That's because you're determined. That's because you're committed. That's because you're relentless. And when you're holding on to those things, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop me. So I'm gonna leave you with that right now. I'm not gonna make this video too long, but we're gonna be on here more often. We're gonna keep it flowing because there's a lot to learn. Like I said, I've been cutting hair for 33 years, you know, and there's a lot that I've learned in the process about business. There's a lot I learned in the process about people. There's a lot I learned in the process about me. And I'm a human being just like you. So we're going to continue to move forward, and we're going to get there. And we're going to get there together. Once again, it's your boy Freddie Johnson of Iron Cuts Barber Den, 2329 Cheshire Bridge Road, Northeast in Atlanta, Georgia, inside Phoenix Salon Suites, Suite 110. But I will definitely holler at y'all later, all right? Coming from one of the 24-hour barber boys. I'll talk to y'all later. All right, peace.